Let's get working on this HTC U11 here. Make sure that the phone is turned off and that you pop out the SIM card reader. So my old tripod broke, and so I apologize about the crummy shots, but I am planning on getting something in the future that's going to be way better. Anyways, we're going to take a heat gun, and I usually just, with most glued on backs, I just blast it with about 900 degrees. I apologize if it's going to go in and out on the zoom here, but we'll find out. But yeah, anyways, in the future we'll have a better microphone and all that. The reason why I haven't recorded anything for a couple weeks, or I would say like over 5 months for cell phone repair, is mainly because I've been busy restructuring the business, and I haven't really found any phones that were worthwhile, and I hadn't came up with any good ideas to record as well. But I've created and thought about some new ideas, and I think it will be really good in the future. So just hold out for new videos, and I will make something pretty awesome one day. But for now, just bear the lower quality and learn how to do screen repair on this. Glass repair is probably never going to be possible on this phone because it's curved all around the entire phone, but maybe the experts will find out how to do it. Anyways, so I get hot to touch. I'm just going to put this down to protect my hand, and I just take my Iflex tool, and it just comes right up pretty easy. Actually, this is not as hard as the Galaxy 9 or the Galaxy 8 back glass. It's actually going in really easily with not too much fuss. You can see how far I put the tool in. Just trying to cut the adhesive here. Try to bend this off. It's pretty glued on. Nothing too terrible. Glass is kind of curved all around as well, but this is the best edge, the bottom edge, to get into it. So this is a microphone hole, you don't want to cover that up. So be careful with that. I'm going to wait for this to cool down a little bit. This is the new screen, curved glass. And the main reason why I'm doing this video today is because there is no videos on YouTube on how to change this out. That's another reason why I stopped doing YouTube videos, mainly because my competitors already put videos up on a phone that's just released and no one's cracked it yet. So I try to focus on doing it with the customer. Like, I'm actually at the customer's home right now fixing it, but I would have liked to have a better setup. But filming has not been a priority, and this opportunity is here now, so I have to take it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and dive deep in this phone and start unscrewing all the screws here. Having a 00 magnetized screwdriver is always helpful for this repair. You can always buy magnetizer to remagnetize your screwdriver if it becomes demagnetized over time. So this screen comes up and over on the reason why we can't go through the top initially is because it's going to be plugging in somewhere right here, and most likely be coming through this frame somewhere right here. So hopefully we only have to remove the battery and not the bottom piece here. So let's go exploring. Lift this piece up here. This whole piece is coming separated. Still a little glued on from the sides, and let's go ahead and turn off the battery. And I don't see any pull tabs or anything for the battery, so it might make our life a little bit difficult. But this is our cable here. That we got to exchange. And let's see if we can actually test the display before going through this entire nightmare. Just trying to get it lined up here. This doesn't seem like the right color cable. This might be this one here. That might be a different one. Yeah. But unfortunately, if you look at it, the battery connector's right under it. So I have to pull out the battery before I can even test the screen, which is just absolutely bonkers, but it's what it is. Beyond the battery replacement, I don't think we're going to have to take out the screen at all, or the motherboard, excuse me, and we're going to go ahead and take out the screen, warm up the display, and that'll help pop up the battery. So I'd recommend using a plastic tool. And let me first get the plastic tool ready before getting the screen off. Okay, I'm back on here and I got the plastic tool. These are just great for battery popping. Mine's kind of warped and broken, but you get the idea. Something plastic to pop up the battery for safety wise, especially if you don't want to ruin them. So we're going to go ahead and remove the screen here and see if I can remove it successfully without breaking it, but I highly doubt that. Being curved all around is just going to make this phone near impossible to fix with glass repair only. And once again, I apologize for going in and out of focus here, but heat gun keeps on going into the camera lens. You get that screen nice and toasty, not too toasty, but you should be able to easily pop up this battery without too much difficulty. And yeah, I just insert my tool and slide my plastic, and it comes right off with no problem. Now it looks like we bent this cable out of this little weight. I would be very cautious about these cables. This must be the pressure sensitive cable on it, but that's why we use plastic tools and not metal tools, because if I used a metal tool there, I could have easily broke that cable. Whew, this thing's hot. You know what, I'll fix that in a little bit. It's burning my hands. Let's keep this warm, and then we can start separating the screen. The home button looks like it's a fingerprint sensor reader only because it's not capacitive, but it still has a cable running to it. So I'm not going to start down here, I'm going to start up top. That way I don't affect the home button at all. So get it screeching hot is the best way to get these things off, where you can barely touch it without burning. So it's really, really hot right now. I would say probably at 300 to 400 degrees. If I had a temperature sensor gauge, we could tell exactly, but I don't. It looks like the glass is put on by Loca, if you can see that. It's actually separating right off. Glass repair might be very possible with this phone in the future. That's actually really surprising. Let's keep on going and see if we can actually separate the glass only on this. Let's try to get under the backlight if they have one. I think this is the LCD panel, but I'm not sure. Whew. I need more. Is that wet? No, I want something dry. It's going right through my bubble wrap how hot I got it here. There we go. Usually that's cool enough to handle, but got a rag here. I take our iFix-It tool here now, a little bit thicker tool, a little bit more prying strength than the Iflex-It tool. Try to get underneath that curved glass there. That is crazy to get in there. I might have to use more heat. That is seriously glued on. I am trying to salvage the screen so I could send it to my parts supplier and see if he wants to tinker with this and separate it and re-ochre the screen, but for now I am... Wow, it's just coming by itself. That's crazy. I've never seen that happen. Must be because of the curved glass. This is how I used to do glass repair a long time ago. Is I'd separate, but never has it separated by itself unless it was under extreme break or something. So this is pretty cool that it's separating like this. All for YouTube. So we need to salvage that cloth of a speaker. It looks like there's something coming up from under the panel. That's interesting. Just looking in there. Now we got the whole thing coming separated. Put a rag right here. Finish separating this. Actually, what I need to do is move this. If we're going to try to salvage this, we'll see here. Probably not, but it's a hope and a prayer. I need one of my plastic tools, but it's in the bin. Oh yeah, it's right underneath that. That sucks. You have to take this apart too. Well, surprise, surprise, more screws, more tearing down. Good old HTC, making life difficult one phone at a time. I remember the HTC M7, one of the more difficult phones. No one knew how to open that, and I came up with an idea to separate it a long time ago. We might really have to take this whole thing out. Looks like I have to take this off just to separate the plastic here. And this cable is underneath this as well. This is weird. Now, does this piece want to come off? We'll find out. Okay, we'll try to do the whole board. Maybe it's attached to the board. Yep, it's attached. I'll be darned. Didn't think that was all attached like that. That is interesting. So you don't need to separate that, just need to separate the two screws. And getting closer to victory here. We're going to this cable management. Now that we've moved all those out of the way, now we can proceed here. Holy moly. I'm just trying to weave this cable in there. Yep, let's see, it's starting to separate out of the frame. Okay, so now we got some more buttons that we have to worry about. Kind of like the S7 Edge. Looks like there's some capacitive buttons under here. Yep, so there's little capacitive buttons that you have to be careful about. And your fingerprint sensor reader here. Okay, the screen is out. I have to carefully move all this out here. All the broken glass. Got tough fingers for this to make sure you don't cut yourself here. This looks like just a gold connector. Its job, I don't know. Oh, okay, I see. This is going to go around the other side and connect to this. It stays up here. There is a lot of extra leftover adhesive, so I recommend scrubbing it all clean here. That is going to take a while, so I'm going to pause the video while I'm cleaning the adhesive. Okay, we've cleaned off most of the adhesive. What will come off, I mean, some of it's still just rubbing off. And you know, you can dig this all you want, but a lot of it won't come off unless I use some kind of cleaner, and I think I'm worried that this might be plastic, and using any kind of cleaner could damage the plastic. Anyways, HTC making these phones very, very difficult to repair in general. Just that's typical HTC for you. So this is the cloth, just kind of like the Google Pixel that you got to remove. They decided to go something cheap. Of course, the new one doesn't have that. Oh, it does. Okay, never mind. So we don't need to remove it. Never mind. Now we got to put adhesive tape. I use Tessa tape I used to use red tape, but now I use the better stuff. Come to across this tape, it's pretty good stuff. Okay, so we're going to just run tape along the sides here. It's kind of like the Galaxy, but this is a much stronger curve. I think the glass on these are very refurbishable, surprisingly, if you can remove them off the frame. I do recommend buying a frame replacement instead of doing just this, because you can have some trouble with these connectors here, and I was being really careful. So, I mean, I don't recommend it at all. Doing it yourself, frame is going to be way better. So now we're going to get this here, and I know this ain't going to be a perfect repair for all the people who are analyzing this. The goal is to get this fixed. The antenna little line connectors kind of remind me of the V20, so I'm hoping they're not extremely critical. We'll check everything here once we're done. Looks like I need to get my X-Acto knife out. Okay, almost done playing arts and crafts here. Connect all the connections first before turning this bad boy on. Don't think you need them, but just in case. They're very flimsy and very easy to tear, guys, so be careful. I would only recommend someone who is very skilled to work on this kind of stuff. It's extremely difficult. Okay, let me get the battery. Turn it on here, now we can test it. Seems like everything is working fine, functional-wise. We're just going to go ahead and just unplug the battery. Set that aside, and let's see if we can actually see if we remove this carefully enough to salvage it. I was trying to be careful, but I'm pretty sure I broke it. We'll see. Yeah, I can see actually the LCD bleeding in here, but just for all your curiousness. Oh yeah, I even heat damaged it. Very difficult phone to do glass repair, guys. I don't think it's possible. You'd have to do glass and LCD. Okay, so that's set aside. These are weird connections, that's for sure. I'm gonna get a couple tools out. Okay, how to get the X-Acto knife and this little tool here that'll help me get, it's called the spludger, to get under there. Put that back into play. So this should be all ready to glue down the new screen that's functioning, except for that just got to cut off some excess Tessa tape that I made. And so that's what we're going through right now. Back to arts and crafts. I only have so much patience for this. Just lots of taping. If I had a pre-cut design, that would be excellent. I'd recommend it if you can find one. Okay. So we're ready to do this now. This is the waterproof Tessa tape, so it's really good stuff. But the phone's still not going to be waterproof again. It gets more stickier under heat, so if you find your screen not sitting well, then you can always warm it up a little bit to make it sit perfectly, or to sit more flush. Also, another reason why a phone might not be sitting flush is because you left some debris inside your frame, which could easily break your screen if you're not careful. Okay, so I'm going to need this here. I'm going to need this from the old screen as well. It's kind of breaking here, of course. Try to transfer this to that. It looks like it's already covered with tape, so it probably doesn't need to be, but I try to put everything back in if I can. On some LGs, I've seen this tape make a difference. Rest we can't salvage probably. Nope, yeah, it's gone. Okay, so we got that there. Everything looks ready to be inserted here, and there's no debris left on my HTC. So we'll be able to go ahead and plug this tested display right in. But there is one extra factor, and it's that tape. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. See if we can put some of that to use again. This is more like a heat shield than anything. It's not super critical, but I'd recommend it if you can salvage it. Kind of like the Note 4 heat shield that people argued with me on my old video about. That one's impossible to put, and that's another heat shield too, so if this dude gets damaged, not a big deal. You still got multiple heat shields. Okay, so we're going to insert our cable here. And we actually need to take it back out and lift these cables out of the way because they have to flow with the other cables. So what we're going to do is take this plastic off so I can align it up properly. Oh, come on. There we go. Thumbs over the home button cover. Should say fingerprint reader. Just trying to move it out of the way. I'm just pulling this inward to make sure it sits as flush as you can in the phone. And we're just squeezing this carefully together, not too tight. You don't want to break nothing if you miss a line. Oh, for the home button, I just put a piece of tape underneath it and lined it up to the frame, and it worked perfectly, obviously. I forgot to show that. I did that when I had the video paused. Okay, so then you just check your sill, make sure it's good. You can warm it up here if you feel like your sill's not. And I feel like my sill's not. It's kind of spongy a little bit, so I am going to warm it up. Once again, we're just looking to get hot to the touch. But don't overdo it or you'll burn your new screen. Just press down for a few seconds here until it cools down. All right. And yes, not spongy anymore, it's sitting straight, and we're good to plug these cables in now. So let's go ahead and start with the LCD cable. Also particular, it feels very fragile is the best way I could explain this connector to you. Like it's ready to break at any second, which is not a great feeling, of course. So I'm just getting it close to my eyes so I can try to line it up the best I can and then feel it. It's hard to feel it lining up in the connector, just because, like I said, it has that fragile feel to it. And don't know if I'm really able to get any of this out of it. All these cables want to give me a little bit of popping up issue, but it's okay. Okay, let's focus on getting this probably very challenging cable plugged in back in. Okay, it's not too bad. Back underneath. Okay, seems to be maybe sitting in there. It could be those cables. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the anti-scratch measure on it. Put our piece of plastic back over this bad boy. That way we don't scratch up the brand new screen. There we go. This piece definitely feels a little awkward. Doesn't feel like it's all the way in or sitting correctly, I should say. So kind of angling it back in here. Let's see if I can get it sitting in there flush. Okay, there we go. Just had to get a little effort from this tool. And let's get these screwed down so that way it stops moving around here on me. So remember, you don't have to pull this off. I do not recommend this phone, once again, to amateurs at all. This is a very challenging phone. It's going to take a lot of patience. Okay, we got that clipped back in here. We gotta screw it all back down. And we put the battery back in. There's already some stickiness there, so we don't have to really worry about putting new glue on for the battery. Before we seal it, we want to make sure it still turns on. Make sure all your connections are still solid. Okay, it's turning on. Just pop it off. Put it back on. It's now turned off. We're going to get these clips in here. Almost like the Galaxy 8 with these clips. Almost. Not exact. Our metal or heat resistant copper there. And just turned on again for some reason. Must have hit the power button. Make sure you don't touch the camera lens at all. That would be not good. Okay, the phone is pretty much put back together. We gotta put the SIM card in and the back panel. Go ahead and test service here. Just turning off Wi-Fi and we got service. Okay. Then you can go through the rest of the testing, charging, and speakers, and make sure everything works that way. Okay, so depending on your glue level, I would recommend taking off this glue. It does not feel sticky again. So we're gonna also have to place it again. This glue comes off way easier than the front glue. Front glue was much more like my Tesla tape. The rear glue is, I don't even know, some weak tape. Like I said, it was pretty easy to open this phone up. So what I'm going to do is put tape all around here and seal it back up. And that is it. Appreciate you guys watching my newest video, and I plan on getting back on YouTube more. I've just been, like I said, pretty busy with different things. If you're doing repairs in your own town and you want TechMD to send you business, we are doing a different kind of franchises with TechMD now. So if you want to be on our website, just let me know. Go to my website and go to the contact form and send me a message. I'll be glad to talk to you about it. If you're interested in becoming part of the larger picture with TechMD, us small guys can really make a big impact in the world of fixing phones. Anyways, almost finished here. Just doing a few other pieces, and then we'll have it sealed. It might be another month or two before I make another video. I'm not sure if I'm going to make iPhone 8 video or iPhone X. iPhone 8 is really similar to the 7. X is completely different. We fixed a few of those, but nothing too major that I want to show on video yet. I like to do different videos that no one else is doing, so think about a different format of videos as well. So yeah, look out forward to it. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you've never subscribed, and I'm always about the super detailed videos on YouTube. Hopefully I'll have some more shots and different methods of fixing phones in the future here than others. Oh, there's an extra cup of glue here. There we go. Oh, looks like we just need one more warm-up. And everything went off without a hitch, no problems. Seems like we are having a perfectly solid, good phone here. But also, in the end, very difficult. Thanks for watching my 45-minute long video. And remember, expect long videos in the future. I'm not really into the short, quick videos. I want to show everything, and if there's a problem that comes up, I'll talk to you. I would say the one thing that you'd want to look out for is the home button on here, or the fingerprint sensor button on there. The cable is very easy to snap and break on that. So anyways, once again, this is Dustin with TechMD. More videos coming in the future. Appreciate watching. Have a good one.